So for any of you who have tried to create something new in your contact center, some new innovation, a new initiative you've done, you probably know that there are pretty significant roadblocks and there are barriers in place to actually getting that done. And most of you I'm speaking to, you've probably got visible burn marks from facing the fire on this one. So what are those roadblocks? What's the core? Why is it so difficult to make initiatives successful in the contact center? So I've explained in other videos about the number of solutions involved, and that's the way the nature of the contact center and integration is necessary. But I want to dig in today into what's the core reason. Like, why is it repeatedly happening all over the place in our industry? And I think the core is that it's really hard to get everybody on the same page. Like an organization where if you ask three people from three different units that are enabling what's going on in the contact center, or who manage three different component parts or whatever, if you ask them, you'll often get a different answer to what's your strategy, what's tactically important, and what financially matters to the business. And even within the same department, the CX level, let's say the management level and the operations level, might have different answers to those things, or they might not even be aware. So the operational level might not be aware of what's financially, commercially important or strategically important. And the other way around, the CX level will often not know what is really going on from an operational or a process point of view. So getting everybody on the same page is really hard. And I think there's an easy recipe actually to starting this, not an easy recipe to doing it. Doing it is your job, and that's just hard work. But getting it started, and I rarely, unfortunately, well, not rarely, but I don't see this often enough that people have kind of got these first two steps. I think we are in a different world now with the latest innovation cycles, like cloud, virtualization, and everything that's happened in the last years. We're just simply in a different world. And I think the two things that have to be acknowledged, I think that everybody needs to know about across your teams, it doesn't make a difference it's C-level or it's operational, everybody has to get on the same page about two things. One is that the world is algorithmic. The second is think about MVPs, minimal viable products. Inside your, or even minimal viable projects if you want. The P could be product or projects. That's it. You're algorithmic or you're nothing, and you're doing MVPs or you're getting nowhere. And the reason I think these two things are so important is you'll probably recognize that from your own experience, that one of the biggest issues is that you've got technology decisions, you've got strategic decisions about how you run projects, how you measure things, which are not based on the first one, being algorithmic. And why is that so important? Is your competition, the best people in your field, the fastest movers coming into your industry, and the people that are not your competition but are setting the expectations among your customers are algorithmic now. They don't see what they're doing as joining your CRM to another piece of kit. You're not joining the CRM and the IVR and the ACD together like three different boxes with a whole bunch of settings inside. You've just got a process. You've got a customer who's coming to you with an expectation, or you've made a promise to them and you're trying to meet the expectation or fulfill the promise. You've got a process for doing that, and the process is an algorithm that you're constantly tuning, constantly changing, so you never finish working on it. And that's what your competition is doing. Not all of them, but that's who you're up against. And it's a great way to think about what you do, because then you forget about the boxes. Yeah, you might have a separate CRM and a separate ACD and a separate IVR, but it doesn't matter. You just draw the line through them that does that meets the expectation. And the second thing is, in this world, you're in an agile environment, whether you like it or not. So it doesn't make there's just no other way to do it, because the capability that we have in the world now is just so extraordinary, actually. I mean, when I think I've been in the business for 21 years, what we do now in a few hours would have taken months when I first joined, or sometimes a year when I first got into this business. So now I think that's the other thing that I often see in the businesses that are really successful, is that they're doing MVPs. The whole organization knows that don't come to me with a huge plan and a strategic transformation. Come to me with a problem on the end-to-end process, where we could be better, how much money it's going to save us or make us, and here's the 2-week iteration that gets us a significant way towards doing that. That's what, as a manager, that's what you should expect from your team. And so everybody has to be on the same page about those things. So algorithmic or nothing, MVP or bust.